Hello, you all. So today I'm going to talk about yesterday's meditation that I did. It was pretty profound for me. So I was meditating inside, and I was sitting up. Was I on the couch, or I think I was in bed? I was sitting up in bed, and my dog was sitting next to me. I was alone in the house. So anyway, about 10 minutes in. Now, this meditation in total lasted 45 minutes, but I was interrupted every 10 to 20 minutes, 3 times. So, so for the first 15 minutes, I started to definitely get into that space where you want to be when you meditate. Where you start feeling like you're not just your body, if that makes sense. I called on Archangel Michael to protect me while I do this, and Yeshua to be with me, and while I connect with the Creator, and that's how I set it up. That's how I always set it up. So once I felt like I could feel that love feeling, I started to just proceed. And so I started to feel very strongly some energy on my lower chakras, the first 3 chakras. And I was like, okay. And then I started to feel tingling, like there was a little crown of little doot 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 around my head. And so I started to feel this area, this heart area, right here, like right here down. I started to feel the energy sort of ball up right there. Like it started to get very, very intense and big right here. This energy that I'm feeling while I'm meditating with my eyes closed yesterday. And then what happened next was I was told I got a download. And then my higher self began to tell me or communicate to me that I had a blockage in my upper heart area. And that's why the energy was coming all the way up to here, but wouldn't go any further to these chakras. This one was being activated, but this one, and my heart chakra, I was told I had a blockage. I had a blockage there energetically. And so I invited God and Jesus to help me unblock this area if it was possible. And so immediately I began to get an image of me as a young girl, and my mom and dad were divorcing because they divorced when I was 6.5, 7. And I remember my mom telling me, that my dad left because he didn't love us anymore. We weren't good enough. And because my mom had some problems, she was a narcissist, and so she told me that it was our fault that my dad left, because he's too good. We're not good enough. And so I was heartbroken because my dad was my best friend. He was the person I hung out with. I didn't hang out with my mom. I went to work with my dad. I went everywhere with my dad, and he took me everywhere with him. And so all of a sudden he wasn't there. My best friend wasn't there, and I'm told that he left because I wasn't good enough. And immediately when I went through that scenario while I'm meditating, tears just started shooting out of my, like, I got this intense feeling right around my heart. And like this big ball of energy. It felt like, honest to God, it felt like if there were a pipe system in the kitchen, the sink, faucet, drain pipes, and if there was a plug, the water would not go down because the drain was plugged. And we go to the store and we buy something to unplug the drain. And when we pour the something in and the water is running and it starts to unplug, and then all of a sudden it's unplugged and all the water starts rushing through. That's the sensation I got in my heart chakra. Like it was building up, and it just went boom. Like it just went boom. All this energy just, I felt like it was pent up energy and that had let go. And also at the same time, I got this image of my instructor that I took some courses, some metaphysical courses in the 90s called the Melchizedek method. I got this image of my instructor who had passed away many years ago. I got this image of my instructor from that course saying, remember I told you I saw a lot of hurt here in your heart, and it was blocked, like a lot of hurt and red color. And I said, yeah, that's what he was seeing. And so, and this is all happening at the same time, what I'm feeling and seeing and all this. So then once that release happened and tears are just coming out, I start thinking about my mom and dad, and I start seeing them as a young couple. And I start to have this realization, like my higher self is showing me, these are just people who were doing the best they can. And it wasn't you that did something wrong. It was them trying to be desperate. Your dad was desperate to get out of a bad situation, and that's what he had to do. And your mom was desperate, in a desperate situation, because she had just been abandoned. This narcissist, my mom, had just been abandoned. So she had to do something. And she was desperate, so that's why she that's why she created this story about my dad. You know what I mean? And tried to keep me from seeing him, and it was just bad. And they did a lot of damage to me, but I realized in that moment, I forgave them. And it was real forgiveness. And I thought I had already forgiven them. But what I was shown was I had forgiven them in here. But I needed to forgive them in here. So I'm tearing up again because it was really an extraordinarily emotional but loving, energetic, wonderful moment, spiritual moment. So once I did that and I was able to, bless my mom and dad, and I felt this enormous sort of detachment, like something just lifted off of me that was very heavy. And then immediately after that boom sensation, that like explosion, I started to feel then this energy that I'm always feeling right down in my lower chakras. I started to feel it in my heart chakra. And I'd never felt that there before. I'd never felt it there before. And then I started to feel it in my throat chakra. I had never felt energy there. And then I started to feel it here. And then the top of my crown started tingling even more. Like there's little droplets of light in a circle going around it was the most incredibly, wonderfully feel-good sensation ever. I felt like I was in a spa, Seriously, I felt like I was in some kind of a spa. That's how good it felt physically to me, and spiritually and emotionally, just the whole nine. And I got at that moment that my chakras were now, that the energy was unblocked, and that now my chakras will be able to balance. That they're not quite balanced yet, but they're on their way to it. Now they can. Before they were sort of unable to because of this blockage I had in my heart. So, and immediately I can't stress enough, really, how different I have felt since then. I mean, oh, also I was told that when we all unblocked my heart area, that I was told, now you will more easily be able to tell your truth. And they made me they had it placed something on my throat chakra, and they were trying to say that I couldn't really speak my truth very well because this was blocked. The energy couldn't go from the bottom all the way up because it was staying right here. So these chakras here weren't getting, enough energy, including the place where you speak your truth. So that's what I was told. Now you'll be able to more easily speak your truth. And that was wonderful. And then I also started to have these visions of light and color and faces coming at me, different people's faces, human looking faces, and non-planetary looking faces, I'll call them, off-planet faces. I guess I'll call them off-planet faces. They look humanoid, but you could tell they're not from here, from Earth. And then I used to see once in a while, like, I didn't yesterday though, but I used to see like sometimes gruesome or grotesque faces coming at me and stuff, but I didn't, thank goodness, I didn't yesterday. I just saw, just like a lot of positive things coming at me. I saw a cross, I saw a dove, I saw what looked like wings, and it was just wonderful. And this spa feeling going through my body, oh my goodness. So I thanked Jesus, I thanked Archangel Michael for protecting me, I thanked God for allowing me to connect to Spirit, I thanked my higher self, and now I feel like I don't have any kind of hindrance in what I have to do or say, or what I have to say to the world. I don't feel like I feel unblocked. I feel like in the last 4 days or so, I have gone through so many changes and have had so many negative attachments removed from me and negative energy removed from me. I feel so much like my old self that I couldn't even barely remember anymore. The self before, I was molested when I was, the self before 6 years old, basically. And that part of me is like back. I guess it was gone. A lot of parts of me that I didn't know were gone, spiritual parts, like energetic parts of me in other dimensions, and other, just parts of my emotional body, etc., were in different places, and they all have been given back to me. I've been doing the work, but Spirit has been so gracious as to allow me to take all these parts back and become whole again. I feel whole again. I feel like I used to feel when my life was about feeling good. When, from age 1 to 6. I mean, I feel a sense of expansion that I did not feel before. I feel a definite sense of expansion, freedom, truth, joy, and I really didn't. I felt it in here before. I felt those things in, mentally. I felt them intellectually, But I didn't realize at the time that I had to feel it emotionally in my being, in my inside. I had to feel it as part of me. And I do now. So now I can see what the difference is. Before I couldn't see what the difference was. So I just thought that was so wonderful. And um, since then, I've also been seeing psychically a little bit sort of clearer or stronger every day. Um, Last night, my husband and I were watching TV, and in the usual place in the hallway, I always see light play in that hallway. Always, like every time, every night. And I always mention it every night too. It's just this general, like I'm looking at the TV and I see this light play happen on the wall, and I look over and I don't see anything. That's what's going on. Like I don't see a person or shape. I just see like this dark shadow, like not even a dark shadow, like just movement, like this sort of light play is what I call it. Like light is moving. That's what I say. And I always say to myself or to my husband, "Oh, I wish I knew what it, I wish I knew like what that is, you know." And I've had my eyes checked multiple times and need glasses because I always see that in the hallway. And I thought it was just my eyes. For so long, I just thought it was my eyes and my glasses. My glasses were dirty. My eyesight is bad. I've gone to numerous eye doctors, and they're like, we can't find anything wrong with your vision. So anyway, get back to last night. So after this all happened, though, so last night I'm watching TV like I normally do with my husband. We're sitting in the den, and I'm talking to my husband at this time. I'm not just looking at the TV. We're watching TV and we're talking, and I'm talking. And as I'm talking to my husband, I look over and I see something, and then we continue talking about 2 or 3 more minutes. And when we're done talking, I get up off the sofa and I start walking towards the other end of the house. And I stop at the hallway and I turn to my husband and I go, "Oh, this is odd. I saw this minutes ago, but it just now registered. I saw a human shape on this wall. A human shape made out of light on this wall." And I pointed to the height of it, where the head was. I drew what I saw, like there was a head shape and then a torso shape, etc. And it was in that same space that I always see light play in. And then it only lasted for like I saw that shape, and like I saw it, and then it went, "Go away." Like, right? See it? Gone. That's exactly the time that it was like not even a second that I saw this. And so I was like, whoa, and I just sort of put that in my on a shelf in my brain somewhere so as not to forget it, but I didn't really know, still didn't know what it meant. So so those are the experiences that I've had in the last 24 hours. And I'm getting just so much information. I'm getting that there used to be an energetic place, let's say, a place where dark beings could operate from. And they had more access to people, and even to people like me. And they were able to influence people to an extent. God was allowing them to influence people to an extent. And, to try to turn us, to influence us. Some of those dark beings would connect with various parts of our body, or attach, or play with our minds, or feed on our emotions, and that kind of thing. And I'm understanding, and I also feel it. I felt it first, and then I sort of asked Spirit what this was, and I got that there used to be, like I say, this a place for these dark beings in which they could sort of do as they pleased, go as they please, go anywhere they wanted to, etc. Now, that place is no longer there. It's no longer there is what I'm seeing. It's sort of like, it's hard to describe what I'm saying. It's sort of like broken. Like it's that realm is still there, but it's broken, meaning like the barrier with which surrounded it, that place, is broken. Like the walls have come down, sort of like, and they've been extracted from that place. So the walls have come down permanently, and they have been extracted from that place, and they can only be now in a certain other place. Like they're contained, in other words, now in a space that they can operate from only. And because of that, that is why I'm feeling freer. I feel like my old self. I don't feel like I'm fighting with something for my own emotions. I don't feel like I don't have control of my emotions. You know what I mean? I feel strong, whole. I feel great. And I'm so grateful, so grateful that Spirit, that the Creator has done this for all of us. And it's funny because sometimes I'll mentally, like my own self, go back to that sort of emotional, getting angry or trying to get myself emotionally upset over a situation, and I just kind of, the fuel behind it is gone. You know what I mean? Like I'll still try to, like, create some kind of negative drama about something, but the fuel from it is gone. It's more like it's a habit or a memory, but the impetus for doing it is no longer there. So, and I can tell. And so when I feel that myself doing that about a situation, and I feel like I just have the thought, but I don't really have the emotions behind it. So it just peters out, and I just can't get into that negative state so easily that I used to. And I think that's a definite result of this sort of, Spirit has taken these entities that were able to influence and put them somewhere. I think that is why we're able to, that coupled with the fact that we're raising in vibration. So it's not just that, it's that coupled with the fact that all of us are raising in vibration. So those things are now allowing us to be more free. Like the shackles are off. We can create what we want, and we won't be hindered, So things will be becoming, for us light workers, and everyone, will becoming becoming easier for us to manifest things, easier for us to make things happen, easier for us to speak our truth, easier for us to not be stressed out. You know what I mean? So I'm very grateful for that. And that's all I wanted to say. I'm getting this lovely energy again in my stomach, and every time I feel it, it just feels so wonderful. So that's all I had to say. I felt the need to make a video about my meditation yesterday. It was pretty profound for me, and I feel changed. I feel lighter, and things are going really good. If you guys have any questions about your spiritual experiences that you're having, or any other questions about my spiritual experiences, feel free to comment and ask down below, and I'll answer as soon as I can. So Much love to all of you guys, and thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon on the next video. Bye-bye.